Hi, I'm Kelsey and this is Caitlin, and we are doing our presentation on Freak the Mighty by Rodman Philbrick. We'll be discussing the significance of two of the places in the novel. The first place is the Down Under, where Maxwell spends a lot of his time.
The next place we will discuss is the pond, arguably one of the most significant places regarding the formation of Freak the Mighty. We decided to choose two places rather than one because both bring out extremely important aspects for theme and character development.
The Down Under is described very early on in the novel. To Max, the Down Under is where he feels most comfortable. He often hides under the bed, mostly during times of sadness and hardship. This can be attributed to Maxwell's low self-esteem and belief that he should be hidden from the world. He is very used to people fearing him due to his similar appearance to his murderous father. Maxwell has also never really had any friends up until this point of his life, and he is used to feeling isolated. Perhaps this is another reason he prefers to spend his time in isolation down under. The Down Under is also mentioned when Maxwell is kidnapped by his father, Kenny. Maxwell is taken to an abandoned house in the tenements. Kenny ties Max to a boiler and tears a piece off Max's shirt to use as a gag. Max is left terrified, alone in the dark, unable to move or speak. Maxwell is almost saved by Loretta Lee, but Kenny finds her before she is able to. Kenny is about to kill Loretta when Maxwell manages to stop him by exclaiming, "I know you killed her. I saw you. I saw you do it." This redirects Kenny's focus onto Maxwell. Max recalls Kenny killing his mother, which angers Kenny even more, resulting in him trying to strangle Maxwell. It seems Maxwell has lost all hope based on the quote, "You can't stop him. No one can stop Killer Kane." But all of a sudden, Kevin appears and ultimately saves Maxwell with chemicals in a squirt gun. The fact that Freak saves Max from the Down Under is very significant. Just like Freak brings Max up from the Down Under in the cellar, his friendship strengthens Max's self-confidence, resulting in Max spending less time in his own Down Under, his room. After Max meets Freak, he has more of a desire to experience life and not to stay hidden from the world. Although Kevin's death was extremely hard on Maxwell and resulted in him resorting back to his safe space, his room in the basement, for a little while, the friendship that Kevin and Maxwell shared provided Max with the ability to believe in himself, therefore giving him the desire to want to learn, as evidenced by the quote, "And now that I've written a book, who knows, I might even read a few," stated Maxwell. This experience emphasizes one of the main themes in this novel, friendship. The experiences of Maxwell and Kevin drive home the point that true friends accept you for who you are and inspire you to be the best version of yourself. This specific location also emphasizes another relevant theme in the novel, the theme being transformation. There are many transformations throughout the novel. One of the biggest we see is in Max. He goes from spending his time hiding away and believing he is stupid to adventuring with Freak, learning new things, and discovering his worth, all with the help of Freak. Another very evident theme is the concept that people are not always what they seem. Many of the characters in this novel are quick to judge Max because of his father. Even Grim and Graham, Max's grandma and grandpa, judge Maxwell by saying, "The boy is like him, we'd better watch out. You never know what he might do while we're sleeping." However, it is clear that even though Max looks similar to his father, they are very different from one another. Kevin does not judge Max when they meet. This could be attributed to the fact that both of them are outsiders in society. Kevin and Max form an amazing friendship due to the fact that neither of them passed judgment on each other prior to getting to know one another, allowing them to form the bond that they did.
Another important setting in the book Freak the Mighty would be the pond. The pond is only mentioned twice in this book, but both times have very different meanings and effects on the characters. Probably one of the most key transformations in the book would take place here. When the pond is first mentioned, it's the part in the book where Kevin and Maxwell are running from Tony D and his gang, and the only way to escape them would be to run into the pond. By doing this, the result of the entire situation is Freak and Maxwell become Freak the Mighty. This idea of becoming anew seems to be very prominent. The idea of a baptism could be in there, the water representing that Maxwell and Kevin are, instead of being themselves, are now becoming one entity. The events that take place at the pond do a good job of describing the type of friendship that Kevin and Maxwell will now have throughout the rest of the book. The dedication, commitment, and just love they have for one another is very prominent. At the end of chapter 7, there's a portion that reflects the feelings of the boy very well. It reads, "We are Freak the Mighty. That we are. We are 9 feet tall, in case you haven't noticed." That's how it all started, really. We got to be Freak the Mighty, slaying dragons and schools, walking through with our head held high above the world. There could also be the idea that the pond somewhat reflects Maxwell and Kevin. The idea that just because the pond is muddy and dirty doesn't mean that it can't do amazing things, like create Freak the Mighty. A pond is still a pond even if it's murky, as Maxwell and Kevin are still people and have the ability to do great things even if they appear to be different. The pond scene has not only helped blossom the new friendship, but has bonded these two boys for life. The second time the pond is mentioned is a little bit less uplifting. This time is when Maxwell has been kidnapped by his father, Killer Cade. They're walking across the frozen pond, making their way to the Testaments. Maxwell doesn't say much in this scene, but he does express this. "The pond is as empty as the moon, as empty as my head." There are so many ways that we could take this. One being that once this pond was so full of life and excitement for Maxwell, and now it's cold and barren, there could be a resemblance to the death of his mother. His father took the beauty of the pond away, as he took the beauty of Maxwell's mother away. There's also the idea that when Maxwell says empty like my head, we could think of it as being because Kevin is not with him. As we read the book, Maxwell expresses many times that Kevin is his brain, or lets him use his brain. This quote expresses the importance of Kevin to Maxwell. It might even show the dependence on Kevin that Maxwell has. Looking at Maxwell as a whole in the scene, his development seems to be getting a little bit lost. Prior to this, Maxwell was learning to have his own opinions and thoughts, starting to believe that he had his own brain. Yet in this scene, all he can do is say yes, sir, to his father because no disagreements are allowed. So him having his own opinion is not possible.
Hope you enjoyed our presentation. Thanks for watching.